about 10 miles, I'll be home. Just thinking about the theoretical church, the warehouse or the shack or the mansion. I'm just being silly. I'm never gonna be that guy, but I don't want to be. But I'm realizing strongly that my story needs to be told because there's a hawk up there. That's cool. Super cool. We've all been through things, and I've been through things too, and I think that I need to be kind of a therapist to children and to people in need. And it helps, again, I think I said it before, it helps me to help others, as long as it's not obtrusive, and I'll do my best to have my shield up before I feel that I'm going to be murdered by one of my followers in my church. I can see things that others can't. I've always been able to, but it's so amplified now with life. It is so amplified. And I also just had another epiphany. Instead of editing this video for freaking hours upon hours and doing half crappy at it, because I'm an old man in theory. For heck's sake, it hurts to drive a stick, and that's not just the prostatitis. My left knee's bad. It's hereditary. My mom's had 3 knee surgeries, and she's only got 2 knees. And I love you, Mom. I lost my train of thought, but that's okay. I know where I was going-ish. See, right now I'd like to be in 6th gear because I'd save gas in my truck. I've already gone through half a tank going all the way up to the mountain and back. It's about an hour and 5 minutes each way without the 2 stops I made to buy a guitar and buy myself a joint. Glad I did. I can't wait to reward myself with that little $8 joint. I gave the $2 to the others. I don't necessarily condone weed. I don't necessarily... It just helps me. Do I want children doing it? Fuck no. You know, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, I do not do it at work. It makes me lazy. I barely do it when I play shows. It makes me comfortable, or too comfortable. That's a better word for it. I'm trying to cruise control on, excuse me. There. I'll do that for just a minute. But, yeah, dude, California sucks. So do the holidays, but they don't really. I'm very, very, very proud of myself to tell you all that I've been listening to Christmas music, and that is hard. My grandfather died on Christmas Eve, and he was my hero, and he was a lot of other people's heroes. Grandpa Boots was a self-made millionaire. He doesn't like being talked about. I won't talk about him too often unless we're in person. I'll talk to you till your ear falls off about my Grandpa Boots. He's got a bunch of beautiful sons, grandsons, granddaughters, grandbabies. He loved every one of them equally, strongly, powerfully. When I was a young kid, I was born in '85, and I'm the youngest of the Cureton cousins, and there's not that many. There's only 5 of us. Yeah, and I was the youngest, so I was he was harder on me, understandably, because I was a little hyper-ass kid, and I drove him crazy. I'll tell you a fun little story about Grandpa real fast. He was watching me one time, so my dad I could spend time with my grandpa, so I was with him for like a week or 2. It was really fun. Sure, he was mean. Sure, he was stern, but sure, he was fun and kind and smart. One of my favorite stories about him ever, which is a different one that I was just going to tell, better yet. I always wondered, how does Grandpa got this mansion? It was, respectfully to this day, it was a mini mansion. It was beautiful. All of his properties have always been gorgeous. He was a self-made millionaire. He was a butcher. He was working on the roads on I-5 out here in Stockton area. I'm in Linden, California now. I have no problem telling you, that's where I live, Linden. I love Linden, California. So he told me off hella times because I was just too hyper and too much for him. He didn't like kids when he was that age. And so I just watched him from afar because he's so cool. And I was always wondered, how's Grandpa got all this to hear money? How's he got all this money? When your kids think about this kind of thing. And then I saw him water down his briquette charcoals, then dry them off and put them back in the bag. That's how my grandpa's a millionaire. One of the best things my grandfather ever told me was about his mother, my grandmother. I'm having Grandma Helen, I want to say, kind of a hard day right now, hard month. And I asked him a question on the phone, because I'd always call him, because he's my grandpa and he's my hero. He always will be. I said, Grandpa, how do you always have money in the bank, sir? And he said, well, let me think, son. When he called you son, I still have voicemails that I listen to sometimes. And maybe I'll do that soon. But I'm kind of cried out right now. Maybe on Christmas I'll listen to him and have a beer with him. He said, your grandmother always had money in the bank, whether it be 3 cents or $30 or 30,000. And I'm using references because I'm tired and I don't exactly remember the number. But he just said very simply, she always said, son, have money in the bank. I'm almost home.